Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to talk about 25 things you must do after installing Ubuntu 22.10. Myself Mohammed Zubair and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid IT pro really fast. So without any further ado, let's get started. Well, just like any other operating system or any other Linux distribution, there are some things that we must perform in order to get the best out of any Linux distribution or any operating system. Same goes for the latest edition of Ubuntu, which is 22.10. So we'll see 25 such things. First one is update. Well, whenever you install any operating system, you must update it in order to get the best out of it. The command to update your Ubuntu or your Linux distribution is sudo space apt space update. Hit enter, give it your password and enter once again. After updating your system, there will be some packages that you need to upgrade. So the command for that is sudo space apt space upgrade, and after that hit enter. It will upgrade all the packages that are there to be upgraded. We are done with this one and now let's move on to the next one. Number 2. Multimedia Codecs. Well, multimedia codecs are essential for some audio-video file formats and many other operations in Linux distributions. So in my Ubuntu, I will get a lot of them as default, but still some of them do not get shipped with my Ubuntu 22.10. So for that purpose, I can install them manually. So to install multimedia codecs, you need to use a command that I'm going to use, and the command is sudo space apt space install space Ubuntu hyphen restricted, and after that again hyphen and right here extras, and hit enter. Here it says it will require almost 246 megabyte of additional disk space. Press Y and hit enter and you are good to go. We are done with this one and now let's move on to the next one. Number 3. Install Htop. Well, if I write here top, here I have a utility on my terminal. This utility gives me all the information about the running processes into my Linux distribution. Along with that, how much resources are being used by each process. As you can see, this is the process ID of each process in this particular column, then the user of each process. Here I have percentage of CPU that is being used by each process, then the percentage of memory, and I have some other information. At the top section of this particular utility, I have summary information about different things. But what if I could have this information, or you can say same information, in more sophisticated way? So for that purpose, we install Htop. So I'll just press Ctrl C to get out of this, and now I'll write here sudo apt install space Htop, hit enter. It will install a small utility into my Ubuntu, and then I'll show you how you can use that. We are done with this one and now I just need to write here Htop and hit enter. So now here you can see, now we have the same information, but now it is in more sophisticated way. As you can see, everything is more arranged. So how cool is that? Number 4. Install Neofetch. Well, Neofetch is a command line utility that helps you to get the system information. If I write here Neofetch, hit enter, it says Neofetch not found. So we'll install it. I'll write here sudo apt space install space Neofetch and hit enter. It will install a small utility in my system. Press Y and hit enter and wait for the process to get completed. We are done with this installation and now let's open that one. So I'll use the same command again here as Neofetch, hit enter. So here you can see now we have the system information about its operating system, its host, kernel, uptime. Here we have package information, shell version, and some other information. So how cool is that? Number 5. Install Vim. Well, there are some command line based text editors that you can use to edit your files. Vim is one of them. If I write here Vim, hit enter, it says Vim not found. So what we need to do, we need to install it. If you do not want to use Vim, you can use Nano in your Linux distributions. Here it says Nano, and as you can see, it has opened a text editor, or you can say it has opened a file for you. I'll just get out of this and now let's install Vim. Command for that is sudo space apt space install space vim, hit enter. It will download and install this program into your Linux distribution, and you can use that one in order to edit your files. Press Y, hit enter, and you are good to go. Number 6. Choose the closest mirror. Well, as the Linux distributions uses different selected mirrors to download different softwares, applications, packages, and libraries for your system. But sometimes the default mirror is not the optimal one. And because of that, system takes more time to download and install your softwares, packages, libraries, etc. into your system. So what we can do, we can change our mirror in our Ubuntu. So first of all, I'll use a command that will force my system to select the nearest mirror on its own. And as a result, the download process will get faster. So first of all, I'll open a file as sudo space nano space /etc /apt /sources dot list and hit enter. It will open a file like this. I'll add some of the mirrors in this particular file. I'll get to the end of this particular file and add those mirrors that I want to add in here. Do not worry, I'll add the link, or you can say I'll add these mirrors in the description of this video. So you can copy these mirrors from the description. Now after that, press Ctrl X, press Y to save the changes and hit enter. And we are good to go. Other than that, what we can do, we can open software and update. Here it is, I'll just open that one. From here, you can change your mirror as well manually. Here you can see here it says download from server for Canada. You can select a particular one as well. If you go into other, here you have country-wise availability of different mirrors. In Canada, I have different options available. So I can select anyone that is nearer to my location. And as a result, I'll be able to download different things more quickly. So that was all about it. And now let's move on to the next one. Number 7. Install Synaptic Manager. Well, with the help of apt command, as we have seen till now, that we can install different packages from the terminal. On the other hand, we have a Synaptic Package Manager that is a GUI based interface program, and with the help of it, we can install up to 7,000 packages in our Ubuntu. To install your Synaptic Package Manager, you need to run a command into your terminal. And the command is sudo space apt space install space synaptic and hit enter. From here, press Y, hit enter once again, and let's wait for it. We are almost done with its installation, and now I'll show you if it is installed into my system or not and how we can use that. So I'll just search for Synaptic. Here it is. I'll just open that. I'll give it my password, hit enter. So from here, I can download any package as per my liking. And not only that, I can search for a particular one as well. So here it says search. I can search for any particular one. And not only that, I can look in different repositories in my Synaptic Package Manager as well. And here I have different categories of my packages. In case if I want to download a particular package related to communication, I can just come here and I can select a particular one. So mark all those packages that you want to download or you install. After that, just click on the supply button and your all packages that you have selected will be installed into your system. So how easy, how cool, and how sophisticated it is. So make sure to install this one in your Ubuntu 22.10. Let's close this one and let's move on to the next one. Number 8. Install Firewall. Well, even though the Linux distributions are safer than the Windows operating system, we should still have a firewall for more security. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to install one. So I'll write here sudo space apt space install space UFW. UFW stands for Ubuntu Firewall. But before that, let's see if we have firewall available in our system or not. Well, we do not have, because Ubuntu doesn't get shipped with a firewall by default. Now I'll hit enter and here it says I have already installed one. Now let's enable it. Command for that is sudo space UFW space enable and hit enter. And we have successfully enabled our firewall into our system, as it says firewall is active and enabled on system startup. So let's clear our terminal and let's move on to the next one. Number 9. Boost your system performance. Well, preload is an adaptive read-ahead daemon service that prefetches the files in your system that are mapped by the application from your disk to reduce the application startup time. And with the help of that, you will be able to use your system in more faster way. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write here sudo space apt space install space preload, and now it will prefetch the files for me from my disk. Hit enter. Let's wait for the process to get complete and then we'll move ahead. So we are done here, and now my system will perform in a much faster way. Let me clear my terminal and let's move on to the next one. Number 10, install Java. Well, Java is another programming language that is very prominent out there. And for many programming environments in your Linux distributions, you need to have Java. For example, even if you are working on some other programming languages, or let's say if you are working on Python project, you might need to use a library that need to have Java installed in your system. So for that purpose, you should install Java. The command for that is sudo space apt space install space default -jdk. If you want to install a particular version, so instead of writing here default, you can mention the version. Hit enter and wait for the process to get complete. Here it says 412 megabytes of additional disk space will be used. So press Y, hit enter, and you are good to go. Number 11, install ifconfig and nettools packages. Well, with the help of ifconfig tools packages, you can do a lot of things instead of networking in your system. For example, if you want to look out for your IP address, we have a command as IP space ADDR, hit enter. But if I write here ifconfig, hit enter, I do not have ifconfig available. And with the help of ifconfig, not only you will be able to use ifconfig command, you will also be able to use other Linux networking tools such as iptunnel, netstat, dig, etc. So if in your case, if your usage includes the Linux networking, you should install nettools. Command for that is sudo space apt space install space net-tools and hit enter. It will download and install the nettools into your Linux distribution. We are almost done with it. Now I'll use the ifconfig command. So I'll write here ifconfig, hit enter, and here you can see I can use ifconfig command successfully. Let's clear our terminal and let's move on to the next one. Number 12, speed up the boot time. Well, when we boot the system, it takes at least 5 seconds to boot it up. So if you only have the Ubuntu installed, you can decrease the grub time to 0, and after that your boot time will decrease and system will boot up more quickly. So for that purpose, we have to edit something into a particular file. So I'll write here sudo space nano space /etc /default /grub, and after that hit enter. It will open a file like this. I have already reduced my values to 0. As we can see, it says grub_default equal to 0 and grub_timeout equal to 0. In your case, if these values are set to some values like 5, 10 or any other, you can change them to 0, and now your system will start up in more quick way. And now let's get out of this. I'll press Ctrl X, press Y, hit enter, and let's clear our terminal and let's move on to the next one. Number 13, create system backup. Well, now we are getting application with Ubuntu that we can use to back up our system, and that application is called as backup. So I'll just search for that. Here it is. I'll just open that one. So it will allow me to create a new backup, as it says create your first backup. So it is a good idea to have a backup of your system before you install any new things or you perform any new things onto your newly installed Linux distribution, because let's say even if you get into some problem, you can recover from your backup. So from here it says folder to backup, so you can include all those folders that you want to backup. After that, click on forward. It says storage location. It means where do you want to create a backup. Click on forward and it is creating a backup of my system. How cool and how easy it is. It says we need to have Python 3-pay drive package installed into our system. So you can install Python in your system and you are good to go. Other than that, we have another way that we can use in order to have a backup, or you can say in order to have a restore point of our system. I'll show you just now, and I'll show it to you in the next step. Number 14, install Timeshift. Well, for those who do not know what Timeshift is, basically it is a recovery tool. With the help of this tool, you can have the backup of your system by creating a point. So whenever your system runs into some problem, you can go back to that particular point that you have created. And most of the time for experiment purposes, Timeshift is a very good tool. And the command for that is sudo space apt space install space timeshift and hit enter. So if your backup is not working, you can install this utility and you can have or you can create a backup and restore point of your Linux distribution. I'll show it to you as well. So let's wait for the process to get complete. We are done here with Timeshift's installation and now let's open that one. So I'll write here Timeshift, here it is. I'll just open that one, give it your password, hit enter. From here, select the snapshot type. If you have BTRFS, go with this one, otherwise leave it as it is. Click on next and now it will estimate your system size and after that it will allow you to move ahead. From here, select the snapshot location, click on next and you can select the snapshot levels. It means if you want to have a snapshot on monthly basis, weekly, daily, even you can go at the boot time. After that, click on next and from here use home directories. It means if you want to include these directories or not, and just click on next and just follow the instruction on the screen and you are good to go. Let's close this one and now let's move on to the next one. I'll clear my terminal. Number 15, install DropBox. Well, we all want to keep our data safe and have a backup. So for that purpose, we have different online repositories that we can use. DropBox is one of them. You can use it online to save your data and you can also use it onto your desktop to directly place your data in its folder, and with the help of internet, your data will get in the cloud on its own. To install DropBox, use the command as sudo space apt space install space nautilus hyphen dropbox and hit enter. Press Y, hit enter once again. You can follow this way or you can use your app store as well. I'll show it to you from there as well. We are done with the installation. Now let's see if we have DropBox available or not. Here you can see now we do have DropBox. Now I'll open my app store or Ubuntu Software Center and from here I'll show you that how you can download your DropBox. Here it is. I'll just search for that. I'll write here DropBox, hit enter. Here you can see we have DropBox available. So you can download it from here as well. So that was all about it and now let's move ahead. Number 16, set up your online accounts. Well, let me open the settings of my Ubuntu and in there I'll open my online accounts. What you can do, you can set all of them. So I'll just write here online, here it is. I'll just open that one. So basically you can add your Google account, Nextcloud, your Microsoft Exchange, and you have some other options available in here. What it will do, it will allow you to use your accounts directly from your Ubuntu desktop. How cool and how easy it is. I'll just close this one. Number 17, enable partner repositories. Well, we can include other repositories in our Ubuntu so that we can download more and more packages, or you can say we can download more free softwares and updates. So for that purpose, open the software and update again. Here it is. I'll just open that one. And in here, go to your other softwares. From here, make sure to include all of the repositories that are available in here. And now you will be able to download more softwares, more packages into your Linux distribution. I'll just close this one. Number 18, increase internet speed. Well, when you open anything in your browser, it takes a little bit of time before the actual website loads up. It also depends on the DNS server your internet provider is using. So what I'll do here, I'll click on my Wi-Fi or wired connection and from here I'll just open that one. So I'll click on wired settings. From here, I'll click on its gear icon. After that, I'll go to IPv4 section and here I can include my own DNS. So what I'll do here, I'll write here 8.8.8.8, 8.8.4.4. So basically what I have done here, I have added 2 DNS servers of Google and now my internet speed will be much faster as these two are very sophisticated one. So you can add these two as well into your Linux distribution in order to improve the internet performance. Here you can see I have used the comma. Basically it separates the two, as it says separate IP addresses with commas. After that, click on apply and you are good to go. Number 19, default applications. Well, there are many chances that you can have more than one application for one type of work in your Linux distribution. So make sure that you have your application as default for different operations. For example, if you have VLC media player, you can make it default for your audio and video files. So for that purpose, open the settings of your Linux distribution, or in our case as it is Ubuntu, and after that I'll open default application. Here it is, I'll just open that one. So here it says web browser is Firefox. In case if you have Google Chrome or Opera installed, you can make it, or you can make one of them as default. Same goes for your mail, music, video and photos. After that you are good to go. Number 20, startup application. Well, just like Windows operating system, there are some applications that get starts at the startup time. So we can make sure that what applications we want to start at the startup time with the system or what not. So for that purpose, just search for startup application. Here it is. I'll just open that one. So at the moment, I have only two of them. First one is SSH key agent and the second one is VMware user agent. In case if you want to add some of them, click on this add button and you can add them from here. Other than that, if you want to remove any one of them, you can remove them from here as well. After that, just close this one and you are good to go. Number 21, install GIMP. Well, GIMP is a small but compelling image manipulation software. We can use this particular tool to edit our images and pictures. So I'm sure that you will want this particular tool in your collection of your applications. So for that, I'll open Ubuntu Software Center. And from here, I'll show you that how you can download it. So just search for GIMP, hit enter. So here you can see here it says GNU Image Manipulation Program. Just click on it and from here click on install and we are good to go. Number 22, remove Apport. Well, many of you might have noticed that some of the time a rectangular pop-up windows shows up every now and then telling us that there is a crash report and ask us if we want to send the report or not. Well, just like many other Linux distribution users, I find it very annoying and I want to remove it. So what we can do, we can install Apport that will force these pop-up windows not to pop up anymore. The command for that is sudo space apt space remove space apport space apport -gtk. After that, hit enter, press Y and hit enter, and here it says 989 KB disk space will be freed. It means we are removing something, so press Y and hit enter. And now there will be no more pop-ups onto our Ubuntu 22.10. Let's clear our terminal and let's move ahead. Number 23, optimize Ubuntu swap usage. First of all, the swap memory is the backup memory partition that gets utilized from the hard drive when the RAM runs out. As you know, or as you should know, the hard drive is several times slower than the RAM. So therefore, as you increase the swap usage, the overall system performance will decrease. But to mitigate this, we can instruct our PC to reduce its swap usage. And there is one more thing to understand here, and that is if you have a modern system with at least 4 GB of RAM, you are good to go and you do not need to go with this particular option. But if you have a system that is with 2 GB of RAM, you should change the swap usage. Now, setting called swappiness determines the swap usage by the system. So to decrease it, first of all, let's check what is the value in our system. So I'll write here cat space /proc /sys /vm /swappiness, hit enter. I have a value as 60, and in your case, if you get the value as 60, it means you are good to go and you do not need to change it. But if you get something else, you can change it as well. So how you can do that? So for that purpose, you need to open a file, and I'll write here sudo space nano space /etc /sysctl.conf, hit enter. If you do not see anything here that says vm.swappiness, you can add it on your own. So come to the bottom of this particular file and write here vm.swappiness equals 10. And now your system will use less swappiness or less swap memory. After that, press Ctrl X press Y and hit enter. Number 24. System cleanup. Well, for the smooth functioning of your system, we should keep it from the junk files and unwanted cache. You can do that by following different commands. First of all, I'll show you that how you can clean your partial packages. Command for that is sudo space apt-get space auto clean. It will remove all the partial packages from your Ubuntu. After that, let's remove unused dependencies from our Ubuntu. The command for that is sudo space apt-get space auto remove and hit enter. Now press Y as it says 35.3 MB of disk space will be freed. Hit enter. After that, we'll clean up our apt cache. Now to clean your apt cache, use the command as sudo space apt-get space clean and hit enter, and we are good to go. Number 25. Install TLP. Well, we know that Linux distributions consume a little bit more power. To make sure that our Linux distribution uses the optimal resources in terms of battery power, we can install TLP. TLP will make sure that your system does not use a lot of power. The command to install TLP is sudo space apt space install space TLP space TLP-RDW and hit enter. From here, press Y, hit enter once again. After its installation, we need to enable it as well. Command for that is sudo space systemctl space enable space TLP and hit enter. We have successfully enabled TLP. Let's clear our terminal, and that was all about the 25 things. At the end, I'll show you some of the bonus things that you should do or you can do in order to get the best out of your Ubuntu. Install PlayonLinux. Well, PlayonLinux is a graphical front-end to Wine that helps you to play or use different Windows-based video games and Windows-based software such as Microsoft Office, Media Player, etc. on your Ubuntu. Even though it is based on Wine, but you will find it very easy to use as its graphical user interface makes it simple and easy. So to install it, use the command as sudo space apt-get space install space PlayonLinux and hit enter. It will require around 1 GB of your additional disk space, so press Y, hit enter, and you are good to go. Install Ubuntu Cleaner. Well, Ubuntu Cleaner is a free and open source application that helps you to free up some space on your disk while clearing your browsing cache. To install it, I'll write here sudo space add -apt-repository space ppa girar duping /ppa. Basically, we are adding a repository into our system. From here, press enter to continue. And now you can install your Ubuntu Cleaner. Command for that is sudo space apt-get space install space Ubuntu-cleaner and hit enter. Install Atom. Well, Atom is a text editor tool that is developed by the GitHub. It is free and open source and one of the best for daily work as well as for coding different programs and applications. It supports various programming languages such as C, C++, C#, HTML, JavaScript, PHP, and various other. So to install Atom, you can do that from your Ubuntu Software Center as well. So now I'll just open that one, and from here I'll just search for that. I'll write here Atom, hit enter. Here it is. Here it says Snappy Atom. So just click on it and click on install and you are good to go. Install Gnome-Tweaks. Gnome-Tweaks is a simple graphical interface for advanced GNOME settings. It allows you to easily customize your desktop. Although it is designed for GNOME Shell, but you can use it for other desktops as well. Now I'll just write here sudo space apt space install space gnome-tweaks, hit enter. I'll show to you that how you can use that as well. So let's wait for its installation to get complete. And now let's open that one. Here it is. I'll just open that one. So basically, with the help of this particular utility, you can customize your appearance, your fonts, keyboard and mouse, startup application. You can customize your top bar and many other things. Dark theme. Well, let me open the settings of my Linux distribution. I'll just open that. So from here, if you go to your appearance, From your appearance, you can go with the dark mode, and I think you should try it at least once. So these were some of the things that you can do after installing your Ubuntu 22.10. And I hope now that you must have learned a lot of new things that can increase the performance of your newly installed Ubuntu. And I hope now that you must have liked and loved watching this one. If that is the case, please leave a like, subscribe and press the bell icon. And if you have anything to ask, please leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Till the next video, take care.